session subjects. Moving along, it is Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence for Greg Bornstein, a teacher at Royce C. Ketchum for over 10 years, and before that, he taught at Orchard View. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. 4.01, public comments on agenda items. Seeing none. 4.02, communications announcements received by the Board of Education. Mr. Lumia.
First of all, I'd like to thank the John Jay PTSA for providing the food and refreshments for the Science Olympiad. The food was excellent. Marie left. I had her portions. I also like to thank all the all the judges. It takes quite an effort to put that particular. I also like to thank the advisors for the club, namely Mrs. Morris and Mr. Freeman. They put a great deal of effort. And for that effort, the students came in first place for the 4th consecutive year. There's a lot of students involved in that program. I remember when it first started. I tell you, I'm proud of it. So congratulations to all the students, and I'd like to thank all the students that participated. I wish them all luck. That's it.
Mr. Capillari.
Thank you, President Johnson. Last Friday evening, had the opportunity to go out to Van Wyck with the International Night out there. It was great. As a child of immigrant parents, it's very important to kind of use food and culture to kind of bring people together. Aside from just Van Wyck putting on an outstanding event year after year there, I think a special shout out to the local businesses that continue to provide food and support, and just the way everyone came together. I think as a board, this is definitely something worth celebrating.
Thank you. Ms. Kelland.
Those of us who attended the Pink Out basketball games at Van Wyck between our 2 junior highs had a very exhilarating experience. Our teams are very well matched in both the boys and the girls. And then we also were at the senior recognition night for the wintertime athletes at Ketchum. Again, it was the boys and girls basketball teams.
Thank you. Ms. Miggets. Sorry.
Yes, this has been once again a very active sports season for our athletes. I would like to congratulate all of our wrestlers who did well at the Section 1 Wrestling Championships last weekend, and our cheerleaders who attended a section wrestling event. I believe Wappingers Junior High cheerleading took first place. And I want to say that I really want to, I know we have some of our administrators out here in the audience, I really want to compliment the staff and the administrators of Royce C. Ketchum and John Jay High School. As Mrs. Kellen said, there was a triple header basketball game and senior night at Ketchum the other night, and the students were well behaved, and it was standing room only in that gym. So I want to thank our administrators and their staff for keeping everything orderly. They were all very, very closely contested games. I keep saying to Mr. Robert Sipe and Mr. Pano that when their two teams meet, I have never seen a game between them in my years in the district where the score has been greater than a 2-point difference. Same thing happened the other night with an exciting finish. And for anyone who would like to see that kind of athletic competition, there is a rematch this Thursday night at John Jay High School when the two teams will be meeting again, and it will be senior night for the John Jay varsity basketball team.
Thank you. I was going to say that closing 2.2 seconds for Ketchum, even the John Jay parents can even say that play was a Steph Curry. If anybody follows basketball, that was a definite Steph Curry play that happened at the end of that game, as always, resounding. I'd like to recognize some of our Science Olympiads for their win. We have Daniela Mark, Haley Kim, Jacob Chung, sorry, I might butcher some of these. Lila Berger, Matthew Glesser, Nathaniel Isley. I should just have you read these because some of these I'm going, no. Naya Nan?
Non-yen.
Maybe.
Non-wen.
Maybe I should have you read them. Because some of these I can't.
Non-Gwen.
Non-Gwen, Ved Kadur, Aaron, no. Some of these are some really good ones. Puani.
Yes, Aaron Pawani. Oh, I do know him. Yeah.
You know what? Can you read them? Because I'm.
Abhishek Thomas, Angel Tolawalasi Ogunsakin,
Yep.
Anika Ann, Anya Pillai, Arsh Kamar, Austin Survey, Ava Davis, Ayaka Sakuma,
Sakuma, yeah.
Sakumia,
Sakuma, yeah.
Sakuma,
Yeah.
Giancarlo Jara, Michaela Pearson, Nicole Lillo, Nicholas Nasso, Nico Bombay, Rohan Shukla.
There's more. We did well.
Yes, 10th graders, Anthony Chen, Bennett Isley, Carter Marshall, Erica Lillo, Gabriel Mazada, George Bumis, Jackson Rougeau, Maheen Badam, Nathaniel Mara, Veda Kodakandla, 9th graders Johnny Price, Lion Ogino, Noah Kaplan, Raghav Mathur, Stanley Zhang, and Sean Glasser.
And I admit that Miss Miggets is a university professor, and therefore she is much better at pronouncing some of these names than myself. Also, we are going to have this Tuesday at John Jay is the girls' senior night for cheerleading during that game. And it is the girl and boys' senior night for John Jay on Thursday night. So that's what I have. Next up is our communications. Let's see, where am I at here? Student board. So who wants to go first?
Hello, everyone. Again, an absolute delight to see you all here tonight. As just said, John Jay recently did extraordinarily well in the Regional Science Olympiad. Again, I know many of the people that compete in there. Many of them are my closest friends. And I think that the dedication they wake up with every single day and the absolute effort they put towards their academic performance is absolutely astounding and deserves recognition of the highest accord. I believe now they're going to the state competition, which, again, an absolute amazing milestone. They do absolutely excellent every year, and I cannot wait to see what this year holds. This just goes to show that the excellence that the WCSD community shows in academic circles is unmatched. Winter Circle Club also recently visited Manhattan, again, a testament to how much we value other forms of learning like project-based learning, which, as I know, is something that we really like to promote here. There will be a college panel featuring admissions experts to address all sorts of questions on the college process. I really recommend going to this if anybody's listening here at home. If you have a student that is a rising junior, that will be taking place at the John Jay Auditorium on February 23rd at 7 p.m. The John Jay administration works really hard to ensure that services and to ensure that activities like this are available to make sure that our students have the absolute smoothest transition and know of all the opportunities they can get. And again, as was brought up again earlier, senior nights are coming up for winter sports. And I absolutely encourage, board members and anyone that can, please go to them. Student athletes, they are the backbone of the John Jay community, especially the cheerleaders. I know they work so hard every year to support and carry on all of John Jay's sports teams, and I think that's really, really admirable. Other than that, I do not believe I have anything else to report. Thank you very much.
Next.
This second semester, we have new students being interviewed and already starting. Student Council has begun planning and fundraising for our school-wide trip at the end of the year. OV received a thank you note from the Department of Veteran Affairs after our cards were sent to veterans from our participation in government class. And we have a BOCES field trip tomorrow for our prospective students.
Emma.
We brought back our winter dance that hasn't happened in over 20 years on Saturday. It was a great night and we had over 150 students attend. We are hoping to build on this for next year. We have our annual bingo event coming up on Thursday, February 12th. The doors open at 5 and the event starts at 6. In wrestling, we have 3 students that qualify for states. Gwen Brown, who is a 2-time section champion, Amani Jones and Isaiah Velez. Congratulations to them and good luck at states. Our CK Science Olympiad teams competed at the Mid-Hudson Regional Tournament against schools across New York. All members prepared for their events tirelessly, and we congratulate them on their accomplishment. A special recognition to the following students who placed in their events: Ainsley Bosman, Rockwell Bonslin, Amber Carpenter, Elijah Basu, and Emilio Cordova. We also have our podcast. We had our first student guest.
Great. I did forget one thing on our announcements. Gay Head kicks off the season every year with their play, and they had Annie Jr. last week, and Proscenium has some amazing talent that's going to be moving up through the lines. They put on such an amazing performance. I did forget about that. Thank you guys for all of your input. Next up is our superintendent's report. Dr. Bonk, your preliminary budget?
Yes, the preliminary budget, which I will present shortly. Thank you, President Johnson, members of the Board of Education, and members of the Wappinger Central School District community. You've heard a number of accolades this evening, rightfully so. I had the opportunity to attend the Science Olympiad. I was there later in the day for the awards presentation. As was mentioned, 11 first place awards. And these names, I think to many of us here, are pretty familiar. We've heard these names before, and I think it speaks to the STEM programs that we have here in our school district. I can remember a number of these individuals at the elementary science fairs, and then the middle school science fairs, and then the high school science fairs and Science Olympiad. As was mentioned, they truly are extraordinary. And I want to thank our teachers and our staff for all of their work in preparing our students, not only to do well academically in the classroom, but to get these phenomenal honors. In addition to that, since our last board meeting, we've had School Counseling Week. And I think it's very, very important to thank all of our school counselors for all of the work that they do with our students and our families. Mr. Zip, I'm going to put you on the spot. Within the last 3 years, how many school counselors have we hired between counselors, social workers, school psychologists? So within the last 3 years, we've hired about 20 individuals to coincide with the unfortunate pandemic that we all endured. And I can tell you that they absolutely do a phenomenal job and they are so important. So could we give them all a round of applause, please? And with that, I now will begin the preliminary superintendent's recommended budget report. What's your head, John?
Do you want the microphone and the clicker, or just the microphone and you tell me when to click? You go like this?
Yeah. It's up to you. So Mr. Lumia just asked me a question. It'll be the same question that I know that our entire community will be interested in. What is the tax cap levy? We'll get into it, but it's going to be 2.61%. And for the fourth consecutive year as superintendent, I will be recommending a budget under the tax cap levy. And we'll get into that as we go through these presentations. So we're focusing on today and we're planning for tomorrow. Preliminary budget 26-27. Members of our Board of Education, President Marie Johnson, Vice President Cheryl Miggets, Trustee Virgil Capillari, Trustee Corinne Mondesando, Trustee Peggy Kellen, Trustee John S. Morgan, Trustee John C. Lumia, Trustee Keith Odoms, and Trustee Michael McFarland. As you can see here, this is a combination of everyone here involved in developing this budget along with you, the community. We want to know your priorities. What is it that you expect a Wappinger Central School District student to be prepared for? And what skills and abilities do they have to have when they leave our school district? We all play an integral role in developing that. Assistant Superintendent for Administration and Information Systems, Mr. Darren Lokema. He's the man behind the curtain. Mr. Lokema, can you come out and wave to everybody? Thank you very much. Assistant Superintendent Curriculum and Instruction, Dr. Michelle Cardwell. Assistant Superintendent Finance Business Development, the financial guru, Ms. Kristen Dainty. Assistant Superintendent Student Support Services, Mr. Richard Zip. Assistant Superintendent Special Education, Dr. Dan Wilson. Executive Director Human Resources, Ms. Renee Harris. The District Clerk and Secretary to the Superintendent is Alberta Pedro. And one individual who is not up here is our Assistant Director of Facilities and Operations. That is Mr. Dan Asher. So, this presentation will be posted on the district in English and Spanish. WappingerSchools.org for those of you who don't know our website. The budget vote, May 19th, 2026. Once again, focusing on today and planning for tomorrow. What is our goal? What are our priorities? Maximize the resources that we have to benefit our schools and our community. And how do we do that? We maintain educational programs, providing academic supports, enrichment opportunities, extracurricular activities, as well as professional development for staff. We are developing the whole individual inside the classroom and outside of the classroom. What do we need to have as part of our school culture? Our top priority, we need to have safe school environments where we make sure that we provide our students with the emotional and mental health services that they need. And that's not only students, but that's staff. We need to prepare today's students for tomorrow's opportunities. They're not necessarily the same ones that were out there 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Unfortunately, the state education department has moved forward with their portrait of a graduate, which is going to change some of the graduation requirements and actually create multiple pathways for people to graduate, which will help to prepare them for life after the Wappinger Central School District, whether that's going on to college, whether that's going into a skilled trades, whether that's going into the military, whatever it is. We need to have a plan for each and every one of our 10,578 students. So the budget is contingent on New York State aid finalization. The budget deadline is April the 1st, 2026. We're hoping that we're going to have a state budget by April the 1st. The last few years we have not. Last year the budget was very late. I want to say it was agreed to just a couple weeks before the actual budget vote, correct, Ms. Dainty? Okay. So again, we need to hear from you. We need to make sure that you go to budget@wcsdny.org. And there's a form there, and you need to communicate with us your goals, your priorities again for our students. What is it that they need to possess when they leave here? So that, along with the mission and the core values of the district, the values and the goals, obviously, of our Board of Education, senior staff discussion and goals, building administration, staff, anyone can go to that website and fill out that form. We do look at it. It is important. I can tell you that over the past 5 years, there have been things that have been requested that we have added to our budgets. So, as I mentioned before, the spoiler, 2.61 is the levy-to-levy tax cap, which is reasonable. That's a reasonable tax cap levy. But we want to provide our taxpayers with even more relief if we have the ability to do that, which is why I'm confident that the budget that I will be recommending to the Board of Education, although I'm not sure what it will entail because we're still not sure how much money we're going to get in state aid. But I can tell you it will be under 2.61%, which again will be under the current rate of inflation, which I think is pretty admirable. When you're able to do that and continue to provide the types of services and programs that we provide, I want to thank Ms. Dainty. I want to thank the members of the senior team. I want to thank the Board of Education for the careful and deliberate financial planning that we have worked together on over the past 5 years. You know, the last couple of years, we've used fund balance. We will be using fund balance again this year to help balance our budget, so it won't all be on the back of our taxpayers. So, where do we go from here? February 23rd, the presentation explaining the budget process. That'll be in English and Spanish. March the 9th, recommended budget presentation 1. There'll be more information there. Hopefully, we'll have a somewhat better idea as to what state aid is going to be. We won't have a final number. We can begin to identify some priorities. Back on the 23rd, it'll be budget presentation 2. Hopefully by the 13th of April, although last year this did not happen, we did not have a final budget. But what we did was we presented what we had based upon what the governor had proposed for state aid. And last year, the actual number was higher than what the governor proposed when the Senate and the Assembly voted on it. That, of course, went into our budget last year. But again, hopefully we'll have all of this wrapped up by April the 13th. Ballot presentation to the community, that'll be at John Jay High School on May the 4th. State mandated public hearing on the budget, Roy C. Ketchum High School, that's on May the 11th. And of course, the budget vote is on May 19th, 2026. So again, we remain focused on today, but we're planning for tomorrow because it'll be here before we know it. So I want to thank the entire Wappinger Central School District community for all of their support over the years. and supporting our students and supporting our district. I also want to thank our Board of Education for all of their efforts, the district office, senior staff, administration, as well as all of our building administrators as well. And of course, our faculty. Without our faculty, we wouldn't be where we are. It takes everybody, it takes an entire community to be successful now more than ever. And with that, thank you very much.
I want to encourage anybody and everybody, including our board members, if you have any suggestions, to please use the website for our budget conversation to submit your requests, and that includes the Board of Education as well. I've already done mine, and I believe a couple others have also submitted some requests, and I do appreciate it.
Budget at WCSDNY.org. Budget at WCSDNY.org.
Send me an email. That's the email address. So send an email and we will definitely look into it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dainty. And thank you, Dr. Bonk.
Thank you.
Okay, moving along to the consent agenda. Does anybody wish to remove anything from the consent agenda this evening? Seeing nothing,
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the following consent agenda items as stated: 6.02, 6.03, 6.04, 6.05, 6.06, 6.07, 6.08, 6.09, 6.10, and 6.11.
motion. Ms. Kellen, second. Mr. Capolari. All those in favor? Unanimous. 7.01, process for nominations to BOCES Board of Education. This is information and discussion. This year, there are 2 open seats on the Board of Education. Michael Rick from Beacon and Bryce Holland from Poughkeepsie have indicated that they want to seek reelection. Oh, will not? I thought it said will. Oh, will not, sorry. Should probably put the other glasses on. The Wappinger Central School District Board of Education, if it so wishes, can nominate one or more candidates. The nominations must be made by official board resolution. The nominees must reside in one of the 9 component districts: Arlington, Beacon, Dover, Millbrook, Pine Plains, Poughkeepsie, Rhinebeck, or Weebatuck. The nominee must not be an employee of any component district in Dutchess County. Nominations are due by March 20th, 2026. Any questions? No? 7.02, approval of the 26-27 school calendar.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby adopt the 2026-2027 school calendar as submitted by the Assistant Superintendent for Administration and Information Systems and recommended by the Superintendent of Schools.
Motion, Ms. Kellen, second. Mr. Capolari, any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. 7.03, resolution supporting a payment in lieu of tax agreement with respect to the Chaplain Hudson Power Express project.
Whereas CHPE LLC, the company, is developing the Champlain Hudson Power Express project, a fully buried up to 1,250 megawatt high voltage direct current electric transmission line from the U.S.-Canada border to New York City. And whereas the Dutchess County Industrial Development Authority, Development Agency, the agency, is considering a proposed payment in lieu of tax pilot agreement and respect to the portion of the project located in Dutchess County, New York, the project facility. And whereas the entire project facility will be buried in the riverbed of the Hudson River, and whereas the town will be an affected tax jurisdiction as such term is defined in the New York General Municipal Law with respect to the project facility, and whereas representatives of the town have been made aware of the anticipated environmental and economic benefits of the project, the long-term revenue certainty that would be created by a pilot agreement for the project facility, and the lack of municipal and school district services that would be required to support the project facility. Whereas, based on the foregoing considerations, the Board of Education of the Wappinger Central School District has determined to support the agency's entry into a pilot agreement for the project facility, and now therefore be it resolved that, 1, the Board of Education of the Wappinger Central School District supports the agency's entry into a pilot agreement with the company with respect to the project facility. 2, this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Do I have a motion? Ms. Kellen, second. Mr. Morgan, any discussion, any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Unanimous. 7.04, approval of change order 2023 district-wide renovations main garage 1, phase 2.
Resolved that the Board of Education approve change order number GW.2-003.1 at a total cost of $16,426.32 as per memo dated February 6th, 2026, from the school district's architect to the Director of Facilities and Operations as recommended by the Superintendent of Schools.
Motion, Ms. Kellen, second. Mr. Lumia, any discussion? Mr. Lumia?
For the benefit of the community, could you please explain why that particular change order is in place?
Hold on one second. I'm trying to remember exactly. Okay, this was a change order. We redid the garage over at Wappingers Junior High School. We redid the offices over there. And when we started doing it, there was a problem with the chimney on this particular change order, and it was a lot more than we anticipated. So they had to actually tear the chimney all the way down and rebuild it back up. And I added soffit inside one of the doorways. Is that sufficient? Yes. Well, almost, yeah. It was pretty close. All those in favor? Unanimous. 7.05, approval of change order 25, district-wide renovations, the Van Wyck Junior High, Phase 2.
Resolved that the Board of Education approve change order number GW.2-004 at a total cost of $37,770.02 as per memo dated February 6th, 2026, from the school district's architect to the Director of Facilities and Operations as recommended by the Superintendent of Schools.
Do I have a motion? Mr. Lumia, second, Ms. Kellen. And just for reference, this particular change order was ceilings at Van Wyck. And Mr. Shukak, did I say that correctly? Van Wyck, whatever. Van Wyck. So it was ceilings, I believe some soffitting as well as at that school, and removal of a few things that needed to come out in the music rooms.
Thank you.
All those in favor? Unanimous. Oh, wait, sorry. Yeah. 7.06, approval of change order district-wide renovations, Van Wyck, Phase 2.
Resolved that the Board of Education approve change order number GW.2-004.1 at a total cost of $70,485.54 as per memo dated February 6, 2026, from the school district's architect to the Director of Facilities and Operations, as recommended by the Superintendent of Schools.
Motion, Ms. Kellen, second, Mr. Lumia. And point of reference, this was additional work that we awarded for completing, I believe it was 2 hallways and the health suite ceilings over at Van Wyck. All those in favor? Unanimous. 7.07, approval of the revised policy committee charter.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the revised policy committee charter as amended.
Do I have a motion, Ms. Kellen? Second, Mr. Lumia. Does anybody have anything to say? Okay, all those in favor? Unanimous. 7.08, second reading and adoption of policy.
Resolved that the Board of Education of the Wappinger Central School District hereby approves the second reading and adopts the following policies based upon the first reading by the board and the recommendation of the policy committee as stated.
Motion, Ms. Kellen. Second, Mr. Capolari. Any discussion? All those,
This is bringing the cell phone policy in line with state regulations and for consistency, grades 7 through 12.
thank you.
I'm glad we have such policy. Finally, we have an excellent policy
Thank you.
dealing with cell phones.
All those in favor? Unanimous. 7.09, first reading of policies. If everybody takes a moment, they'll have any questions after reading the policies. If you have any questions, I ask that you reach out to Ms. Kellen, the chairperson of the policy committee, before our next meeting. That being said, 8.01, does anybody have anything for the consent agenda? No? 9.01, comments from the public? Seeing none? 10.01, adjournment.
Resolved that the Board of Education does hereby adjourn the February 9th, 2026 Board of Education meeting. The time is 8:26.
Motion, Mr. Capolari, second, Mr. Lumia, all in favor? Thank you, everyone.